Greetings and welcome to Connecting with Intent Show. I'm your host Muhammad Awais. On this episode, we have a very special guest, CEO and real estate development expert, Maura Feaheny. Please join me to give a warm welcome to our guest, Feaheny. Maura, welcome.
Good morning. How are you, Mohammed?
I'm fine. Let me start with this. Where were you? What happened? Who were you surrounded with that inspired you to do what you do today?
I've been inspired my entire life to do the right thing. Most importantly, what I do for a living is only a piece of what I am and who I am. I back when I was 13 and 14 years old, my parents bought a house and it needed a full renovation, and that was where my first interest in real estate stemmed from. I learned about construction, living in construction, and I learned about how to treat people through my parents. My parents always treated people the right way. So my life is really a series of episodes. And it's a maze that I've led my entire life, through integrity and ethics. And what I do today is I do real estate development work, I do chief operating officer work, and I try to lead through kindness that people become their best self.
What is your higher purpose in life?
I think everyone's higher purpose in life, if they get a chance to reflect, is to lead others again through kindness and love. Again, as I mentioned earlier, life is a maze and it's our challenge to lead others to their own successes. So I try to surround myself that are positive thinkers that all want to become their best selves. I think the mistake many people make in life is that we think we're on this planet alone, and we're not. We're on this planet to influence others. And our legacy is really to lead others so that when we leave this earth, we've left them better. The people that we leave behind are better. So that's my purpose in life. I've led my children and my family, and hopefully all those that I've worked with a better sense of themselves.
What have been top three greatest challenges that you have had to overcome?
The top three greatest challenges. First of all, I think challenges are opportunities. I like to spin it and say that a challenge is an opportunity. We always look at our ups and downs on this earth as a negative, but they're not a negative. There are opportunities to grow and to become better people. I'd like to reflect before I give you my three greatest challenges, if I may. I was at a church service actually this weekend, and they were talking about how some people live life in a flat line. And I think about an EKG, and there's no ups and there's no downs. They're just dull. They're just flat. They're just living life, and they're not taking chances. They're not taking risks, and they're not influencing others. I myself think that's a shame. I think that we all have an opportunity to influence others, and I think we also have a chance to be influenced by others. With that said, the three greatest challenges that I've had to overcome, I have some obvious ones. I'm a woman, and in real estate, it's been difficult from time to time to be a woman in real estate. I'm an architect as well. My background, and I'm a licensed architect. In architecture school, about 20% of us were women and 80% were men. I've always had to prove myself more than the men I feel. Now, whether that's true or not, whether that's something I've internalized is always been my question. But I think there is truth to it. I think growing up in the corporate world, again, being a woman has been a challenge. But again, it's been an opportunity. I wouldn't exchange it. I'm glad that I've had the opportunities that I've had and that I've been given. The next greatest challenge, I think, was probably my parents dying. Both of my parents have died. And when they died, I realized, again, I look at it as an opportunity. They died within about a year and a half of each other. My father was a very, very successful business person, and my mother as well. What I realized about their death is that life is short. And I realized that we only have one life that we're given on this earth. And it reinforced kind of my lifelong goal of influencing others through positivity. And then my last, if there's a third greatest challenge, is probably raising children. I have 2 children. And again, while they've been challenging, just because of the environment we live in, they're my proudest people in the world that I've been able to raise them. And both of them going. My daughter's graduating from college, and my son is going into college this year, and it's a big deal. It's a real big deal. But I don't look at. Yes, they were challenges, but they're my proudest and most successful.
What is your greatest failure story? What did you learn and how did you recover from it?
Greatest failure story is difficult. I don't think there's such a thing as a greatest failure story. I think many turns in life are failures. But I think if as any failure that you have to get up from, or give up. And I go back to my story about living life as in a flat line or living life without ups and downs. I don't know if I have a story of a greatest, and that maybe that's wrong to say. I could point to many examples of things that I've done wrong. I would suggest that most of the things that I've done wrong in life go back to my ego and my confidence. And I think that's a negative. Now, they say that to be a good leader, you need to be confident, but you have to be very careful not to be overconfident and not to be cocky. And I think early in my career, especially, and even recently, I think there's opportunities where I didn't have to be so confident. And it hurts me and it hurts others around me when I'm not humble and when I'm not vulnerable.
What is the most impactful book you have read and what did you learn from it?
The most impactful book that I have read happens to be a movie as well. I read the book first, and then I saw the movie. It's called The Giver. And I actually don't know who the author is. The Giver is a movie and a book, and I prefer the book. It's a book about giving of your memories. It's a book about living in a post-apocalyptic world where no one has memories, no one has history, no one has legacy. It's always impacted me. I saw it when my children were very young. Probably read the book 12 years ago. And then I went and saw the movie probably 10 years ago. And I brought both of my kids. And my husband, I was so impacted by this book. And they didn't want to read the book. So I took them to the movie. The movie wasn't, like I said, nearly as well done. But it talked about a life without memories. And what would a life be without memories? And it just furthered my ability or my thoughts that we have to have memories, and that's who we are. We're created through our memories and what we are and our experiences. That's why going back to what's my biggest fear or my biggest failure, any failure created who I am. So I don't see it as being necessarily a failure other than it's a humbling experience.
What are your goals for the next 12 months?
That's a trick question. I've been in real estate crazily since 1990, actually. I practiced architecture, and then in 1990, which is before you were born, I think, I've been in real estate. And 11 years ago, in 2013, I moved into senior living. I've worked in senior living for 11 years, and I've tried and tried and tried to help influence that world because I feel very strongly that our seniors and our less fortunate people deserve only the best of humane treatments. But I'm tired. I'm really tired from doing it. I love real estate. I love construction, etc. But I am potentially looking to pivot my career and do something entirely different. I have a couple opportunities that have been presented to me, and I can't speak of what they are yet. But I think it's going to be an exciting next 12 months. I'm launching my son off to college in August. So in 1 month, he'll be leaving for college. I'll be an empty nester. And I'm excited for the next chapter of my life. For goals, my goals are always the same. It's to help mentor others and to help grow businesses. That is what I do, and that is what I do well. And no matter what I'm doing it in, what space I'm doing it in, that's my hope, is that I help others navigate this maze of life in a positive way.
What advice you will give to younger yourself?
Probably not to be so hard on myself. I think that we think we have to be perfect, and there's no such thing. And so my biggest piece of advice is to keep trying. I would give that to myself, and I would give that to any young person, honestly.
What would you say about your guest appearance on the show?
I think it's been wonderful. I think you're very accommodating, Mohammed, and you're very kind, and you're all those things I said. You're kind, you're present, you're committed. You're also very considerate. And again, those are all attributes that I think need to be instilled in children lifelong. And we get distracted in life, but I think we need to, when those distractions come our directions, refocus. And somebody told me once, you can't multi-purpose, you can't multitask, you can't multi-focus, and do it well. And I think there's truth to that. And you've done a phenomenal job of keeping this on focus and target, and I appreciate you for that.
Thank you so much for your kind words. I really appreciate for you. What closing thoughts would you like to share with our listeners?
I don't know if I have any closing thoughts. I would hope that I've helped others manage their maze of life. Um, life is a maze. I heard that recently, that life is a maze, and you can either go straight through the maze, or you can get help to get through the maze. And real quickly, I want to just show you on a piece of paper. It'll take half a second. If this is a maze, 1 second.
Sure.
If this is a maze in life, and this is the starting point, well, if this is the starting point, and that's
Yeah.
the bottom is the end point, that's life. Our life is ups and downs and curves, and but our job is to influence others, to help them get through that maze. And get through that maze, there's an argument for efficiency, of course, because efficiency in the work world makes more money. But there's a way to get through that maze, be efficient, and not be egregious, and not be derogatory, and not be disrespectful. So those are, I said I didn't have closing comments, but gosh, anytime I can help others become better humans, I mean, isn't that what we're on this world for? And as a global world, and as a family unit, and it just keeps extending out. Do you have any
Thank you
other
so much.
questions? Any other questions for me, Mohammed, or no?
No, it's enough, Maura. And thank you so much for sharing your wisdom with us today. On the behalf of Connecting with Intent community and our entire team, we really appreciate you. This is Muhammad West. Until the next episode, all good wishes.
Thank you.